my goodness, Damian Loone, what an honour. Really.
Thank you.
You know, when I hear your name and the work that you've done over the last, 40 to 50 years, really I'm present to the profound privilege of being able to consider the conversation of what you've been up to over the last 50 years. And can I start by saying, and I know this might sound a strange word to say, but congratulations on what you've accomplished.
Thank you. And look, I served for the people that I work for in the community, and they needed answers, and particularly with Lynn Dawson, where they weren't getting the service when they should have back in the early 80s. And I was lucky enough to take that job on, and then 24 years later get a result. So thank goodness for the family support for me that kept me going.
So can you tell me then, how did you keep yourself going that long?
Well, that's a great question, because there were times where the brief was stalled. I went to the DPP on a number of occasions to argue the fact that he should be indicted to go to trial, because there was no other suspect. And they kept knocking me back. So it was like a kick in the guts when you're down. And I thought, how am I going to keep going on with this? Where do I get the extra evidence? Where do I find that to spark the renewed public interest in this matter? But I just kept doing things, different things, and putting things out in the media. And look, lucky enough, I had the support through the community, particularly the family. That was my driving aim, because let's face it, if one of my sisters went missing and my wife went missing, there wouldn't be a rock on this earth I wouldn't upturn. And Dawson didn't do that. So that kept me going. And when they looked at me with possum's eyes, big, wide, and saying, "You're our hope, you're our answer to everything," I knew I couldn't let them down.
So you bring up the word, I think, the progress that we've made. It was obviously not the only thing you gave your attention to, but now that you're standing here, if you had to look back and kind of acknowledge what you're most proud of, I suppose, in the outcome, what has made you incredibly proud about that?
It was the fact that I suppose I had the rapport from the family, and in particular one of the daughters as well, that I think for many years resisted to meeting me. And I went up there and I spoke, and I had a whole day with her. And that was Chanel, the eldest daughter. And I gained her rapport, her trust, and she wanted answers. And I thought, well, I'll do my damn best to find an answer for you and to find out what. And my whole aim was to find out what happened to her mum. And we did find out.
It's just remarkable.
Yeah, it was.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
So, what now? Here we are, it's International Women's Day, and we hear, sure, there's one woman who dies every 9 days, which is insane. But we also know that there's one man who dies every month from issues around domestic violence and domestic abuse. From your perspective, what does, I suppose, a day like International Women's Day mean to you?
Well, I think it really empowers men to believe in the women and give them support. And that's what I'm here for today. And this is not just a one-off thing. We have one day a year to recognise the fantastic efforts by females in our community. It should be every day. And I'm here today to spread the word, the gospel about this is what we should be doing, guys. And I'm involved in a small community up on the North Coast, and I've got a great bunch of mates up mine and who are like-minded with myself in relation to respect for women. And look, we've just seen a young fellow charged with the disappearance of Samantha Murphy down in Victoria. Lynn Dawson was a victim of domestic violence. Yes, there are men who are also victims as well, but women far outweigh the men. And this is where we have to really, really start educating and the public, to get the public support about the legislation. And I don't think the legislation's strong enough. I really don't. And I'll announce tonight that I'm going to seek pre-selection for the National Party.
Fantastic.
To go into legislation, into the House of Representatives, to firm up the legislation in relation to domestic violence, because it's just not good enough. It's not uniform across Australia and our Commonwealth.
And I know just recently, in fact, just this week, Queensland passed their law on coercive control.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And we have all those other, we have the same legislation, but we all call it a different thing. So it's not uniform across the nation. So that's what we need to get across straight away. There's all sorts of different ways. I think the ACT are thinking about it.
Right.
New South Wales has the legislation.
Right.
So, but it should be uniform across the nation.
Well, thank you, and congratulations on deciding to put yourself forward.
Thank you.
Very exciting news. We look forward to the announcement.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.